Hello and welcome to the Nerdy Bazaar. Today, as you can see, we are in the Nerdy Bazaar and I'm feeling a bit reminiscent. So I thought I'd look at some of my figures and just recount the stories I had when I bought them. This is probably going to be a long one, so just strap in, get some popcorn, get a drink or whatever, and let's just have a natter. I think we'll start with the very first G1 Transformer I got. This is way back when, which is Sludge here. I got this guy. I was at a comic convention and they had loads of Transformers on the stall, and I'm looking at him and he's the only G1 one, and I'm like, do I be that pretentious person that starts collecting G1 Transformers? Yeah, I was. So I ended up buying this one from this little stall, and I was like, oh, okay, I have a G1 Transformer, no big deal. And then I think that was the next day I ended up going back to the shop that they owned, and I ended up getting my Jazz. He was completely poorly transformed, and I thought, I've just got to rescue the guy. So I got him, and I think I ended up with Scattershot as well, so that's a thing. And then, like I said, it just kind of exploded from there, getting my Dinobots. I remember getting Grimlock and Snarl from a vendor. And like I said, the Grimlock, my Grimlock's got a little broken tab there, so he can never transform. I'm just looking how dusty he looks on camera. But so I've got him, but Snarl was in absolutely, he was in pieces. He only had half a head, half a tail. So my friend and I, we got a Junker one, and we fixed him up, so now he looks good. And then just to complete the round out the story, when I got Slug here, or Slag, it's Slag now because he's this one. I got it about the time Power of the Primes came out, and I ended up getting this guy and the Power of the Primes one within 20 minutes of one another. And I have to admit, I just like this guy more. He's just he's big metal toy. He's fun. And obviously, I recently picked up Swoop to get the whole team. Who else we got on here? Oh yes, we've got Power Master Prime. He was the first Transformer that I actually bought. Well, let's say fixed up from spare parts, really. I remember it was a flea market. I found the original, the core guy, this dude, and I had him and a few other little bits. And I just thought, oh, okay, it's an Optimus Prime, no big deal. And then a few months later, I was at a toy fair, and I got the bulk of the body. He did come with, another, the little guy, but this guy's a bit scratched on the back, so I swapped out the one I'd bought. And then it's just right, we're building the rest of it. And so I ended up getting the head. I think someone bought me that, and same with IQ. The guns I got from I think it was TF Nation. So after that, I'm like, well, this is what I want to do. I want to rescue Transformers. It's much more fun. That's kind of why my Megatron, who was absolutely beat to crap and missing chunks, with a 3D printed gun, but he's my Megatron and I love him. Oh, what else have we got? Oh, I've got the funny story about Huffer. Huffer's quite a funny story. He's just a regular little mini-bot, but I ended up buying him from, I believe, a toy fair. And then I must have had a hole in my bag, and he fell out, and I lost him. I'm like, crap. So I thought, oh, I'll get him next time. And then this was during COVID. So Toy Fu were doing an auction. And so I was like, oh, I'll get Huffer, yeah. I'd already bought Skywarp and I think Hardhead. But I just as I put in my bid to get Huffer, my internet went out. And by the time it came back on, he was already gone. I'm like, son of a... Anyway, fast forward I think 6 months, I was at a local comic convention and they had this Huffer. And I was with my mom. And you know what it's like when you're with your parents and you're a figure collector. It's no, you can't get the toy. So I'm like, oh, okay. And anyway, I ended up telling her the story I'm telling her now, and she was like, wait, no, go get him! Go get him! So I ended up with this little orange ball of joy. Who else have we got this fun, interesting story? Ooh, Metroplex! Metroplex, I ended up getting. My friend Teresa got it for me when I had to go to the hospital. She got a bunch of Junkers, and she put one together, and he's 100% complete. I've got 6 guns as well on another shelf. It's so that one means a lot to me because, it was a gift. But if you see Scorponok back there, Scorponok, I have a funny story with that. I bought him at TF Nation, and like I say, he was really cheap. It was cheap because he's missing his shoulder cannons, but he's got his head, his head, and he's got the gun and all the other bits. So I put him in a bag, and this was when TF Nation decided to do the whole, if you go in for the early birds thing, if you go out, you can't come back in. So I thought, I'm carrying this big robot around. I thought, well, he's going to lose his head could fall off. So I took his head off, put it back in the bag. And then I remember seeing some friends of mine. I was like, guys, check out, I just got G1 Scorponok, way! And I pulled it out and I realized his head had fallen off, and his head was like 10 feet away from me on the floor. And I'm like, never before have I ever ran, got to get his little head back, his little noggin. I will eventually get his shoulder guns. I'm working on, been working on other things. Like, the combiners. Like, say, you saw in one of my previous videos, I put him together at TF Nation, got all the bits and stuff. But Bruticus is the one I want to talk about. Bruticus is my favorite combiner, but he was also my first, G1 combiner I had. I bought it from this little shop not far from me. It's now closed down, but... and I remember taking pictures of it, thinking, oh, it's really cool. And anyway, so I bought it, relatively cheap, took it home, and he was missing his back guns. And I'm like, oh, did I buy an incomplete one by mistake? Ended up checking my the pictures I'd sent to my friends when I'd found him while he was still in the cabinet, and lo and behold, he had his back guns. I'm like, oh, okay. Anyway, I had some other pictures I took at the shelf. I just happened to be after they removed it, and I hadn't noticed. But his back guns had fallen off, and they were just there in this cabinet. So I went back the next day, explained to the shopkeeper, hey, I bought this thing yesterday, but a bit fell off. It's right there in the cabinet. Could I have the piece, please? And I'm not kidding. The shopkeeper literally looks at it, picks it up and goes, should we say about £5? And I'm like, excuse me? He's like, yeah, £5 for that. I'm like, no, mate, I've already bought this figure. I want the bits that I bought. It's not my fault that when you picked it up, it fell off. So I didn't get it. I didn't get his back guns until, I think it was last year at TF Nation. I think Andy bought it for me. So, yeah. Currently I'm working on Abominus and Menasor. I'm nearly there. You can get that. Alright, let's go with some other cool stories. I've got the very first masterpiece I ended up getting was at my very first TF Nation. It was, I was going around and this was, again, my very, very first TF Nation. I was going around just buying the odd piece here and there, modern bits and all that stuff. And I've noticed everyone else running around, they were buying the masterpiece stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, I want a masterpiece! So I ended up thinking, right, well, who am I going to get for start this collection? It needs to be someone iconic. It can't just be a random dude or a random thing. So I ended up seeing this Wei Zhang Optimus Prime, and he was only about 50 quid. So I ended up buying him, and he was like, oh, it's great. And then the next year I ended up getting the matching Megatron, because I couldn't have a Megatron that was smaller than my Optimus Prime. That makes no sense. Then we've got my cool Power Master. I think this is the Fans Hobby, I believe. Power Master Prime. He's so cool. I ended up buying him again. A lot of my stories are TF Nation stories, but yeah. But I bought him from, I think it was Kapow, but at the time the card machine was down, so I ended up having to use PayPal. And of course, this is first thing on the Sunday morning, so it's all, you're all Anyway, so I'm like, right, I don't really use PayPal in day-to-day transactions. It's an online buying thing. So I'm there trying to desperately find a cash machine so I can, just pay cash. And of course, it's Sunday morning, all the cash machines are empty. So I'm desperately trying to get PayPal on my phone and work all that out, until I suddenly realized I've got my laptop in my suitcase. I can just go, and so I ended up going to that and just paying straight away. It was one of those weird oh yeah moments. So that I always find, I love this figure. He's so cool. Came with the extra head that made him all more like the the chunky head. I love that. What else we got? Like I said, I'm just looking for stories. Rodimus, I remember back when I was working in a care home, we were doing a lottery thing, and I just totally forgot. I just handed the money in, totally ignored it. And then one day, they said, oh, by the way, you've won. I'm like, oh. And the amount I won was the exact amount to buy a Rodimus, so I finished my shift early that day and I went straight up to Smith's and I got our Roddy boy. Who else we got that's cool and interesting story? I guess there's lots of cool robots here, but like, some of them are just like, oh yeah, I went to Smith's and I bought it. Actually, there's a funny story about the Cosmos. I remember when he first came out, and we're like talking when he first came out, this version. I remember there was one and only one vendor in the entire TF Nation that had it, and he only had that one like box figure. And I think everyone had the same reaction, was they picked him up and said, Cosmos, great! And then they asked how much he was, and the guy was like, oh yeah, like 70 quid. And then was like, no, I'm not paying 70 quid for a figure that's just come out. And I remember making sure I saved like however much figures were back then. And like on the Monday, I went straight up to Smith's and bought this guy. I'm not paying 70 quid for a figure I can buy for like 20. Screw you, vendor. What else we got that's interesting and fun? You know how much I love him, but I haven't really got a cool story about this other than the guys at Primetime Toys hooked me up with it. Oh, I know this one. These two. This is a funny story. I bought the first one, like it was a genuine release, and then the other one came out during, I think it was the pandemic, and you could only get him from like, in person, but you had to like pre-order him and like queue up, and it was like, with the masks and all that. But I ended up doing it because I thought, I could get this robot, so I ended up with both of them straight off the bat. No big, whoop whoop. Anyway, fast forward to TF Nation. My friend Ben, he ended up spending quite a bit of money to get the one that was harder to get. And I'm like, oh yeah, I've got those. He's like, no, you haven't. They're really rare. And I ended up showing him a picture, and he's like, oh, how much did you spend? I went, retail? He's like, oh, okay. And it always makes me laugh because it's like, they're great figures, but like they're so expensive. Let's go down to what else we got that's fun stories to tell. I guess I've got stories. I'm just trying to think like really fun stuff. There's my masterpiece wheeljack. I remember asking a guy like how much it was on the stall, and he's looking for. He went for like 5 minutes trying to find this price thing, and by the time he like found it, and I was like, I was just asking the price. I wasn't like really into buying it. But I was like, because this guy spent like 5-10 minutes looking, and I'm like, yeah, sure, yeah, just buy it. So I have a masterpiece wheeljack just out of guilt. Oh yeah. This guy he's like what's it called, Outback, or at least a third party Outback. I ended up buying him really cheap, but I absolutely loved him, and I ended up going back and getting the Swerve. But the Swerve is nowhere near as good as the Outback. Back to when I like first started to like go for G1 collection, like properly go on. It's getting good to hear. I ended up again. I always find these really weird stories at like comic conventions, but I ended up getting Optimus Prime. He wasn't this complete when I got him. The Broken Grimlock and Snarl, but I also got a complete G1 Ultra Magnus, and I'm like, oh cool, I like Ultra Magnus. Ultra Magnus is awesome. Everyone loves Ultra Magnus. But then one day I was trying to transform him, and his arm just sheared off at this joint. And so I ended up gluing him back, and I'm thinking, oh crap, my cool Ultra Magnus he'll never transform again. And then a few weeks ago, I was at Geek World, one of the local stores near me, and they had a Junker one. He was absolutely trashed. Someone had painted like Optimus Prime on the front of his chest, which, to be fair, looked quite cool, but his arm was still fixed. And then I looked at it, and like, it's literally a one screw fix. So they ended up giving it to me because they couldn't sell it, and I fixed him, and that's why it's a slightly different colour, but Ultra Magnus lives! I felt just like Redgar. I don't know what Redgar says. Then I've got my G2 Optimus Prime here. I got him from a bargain bin from a shop called Droids vs. Dinosaurs. It came with his trailer, and he was mostly complete. And then the guy was like, oh yeah, it's 10. And I'm like, shut up and take my money. And then obviously you do that thing where you show your friends all the cool robots you get. So Matt from Toy Fu, literally within a week, had done me the 3D print mold or whatever he does, and got me the cool sword. So that's cool. And then behind him he's got the G2 Megatron, who I ended up getting, I think from a toy fair. I think I was hanging with Few, and yeah, he just showed me how to transform it. I had to move the camera so I'm up, so you can probably see my shadow. Hello! I think I've told this story before on this channel, but my Grimlock I ordered from wherever, and the postman delivered it to a completely wrong address. They'd sent it to like this little old lady like 5-10 streets away from where it was supposed to be, and they'd left it in like a safe space, but it was like literally her bin. And of course she didn't know it was there. It was only because we went up there and like, hi, yeah, can we check your bin please? And there it was. I'm like, so the postman just chucked my Grimlock in the bin, and I'm like, ooh. But we got him, and you know, we now have yet another complete team of Dinobots. I love this shelf with all the Chug guys on there. I need to put some lights up here, I think. Maybe I should put some like fairy lights across the ceiling. Leave your suggestions below. Oh, another strange story is when I got like Autobot Shuttle, or whatever it's called. I got him from Game, cause they had him like cheap at the time. And so I ordered him, and they sent it, but for some reason they wrote down my address wrong and sent it to like a completely different address. And it's like I checked everything, I was in the right, but they just like guesstimated like where I'd ordered it, and it was only because I think someone found me on like socials and like, is this yours? I'm like, thank you, stranger that watches my channel. So yeah, Autobot Shuttle, I think I do like him. He's a very nice figure. Who else we got that's cool and interesting? See, I'm just doing these long tracking shots. Also, check out my RC that I got a 3D printed part, so she doesn't transform, but come on, the Kingdom one never really did, but she looks so much cooler like that. God, Ultra Magnus is huge. I don't really have a cool story about Skylinks, but like there's Skylinks. Anyway, so I'm just telling random stories. I'm rambling. As you can tell, this is very unscripted. Let's go try going out climbing down on a ladder at the moment because my display is so huge. Move the ladder out the way. The Beast Wars, like I say, I loved Beast Wars as a kid. And so I didn't really have many of the new ones. I think that's my childhood ones. Is it Slapper or whatever? Tasmanian Kid. I think I had Baboon, which I haven't got a new version of, which is weird. But remember they did some like reissues a while back? I didn't buy them right away, but eventually I did. And then I think it was in the set space of like one day I ended up with like the Megatron, the Optimus, the Rat Trap, Cheetor, where's the other one? I'm trying to look where everyone is. Tigatron, Pterosaur, and Scorponok. I think I spent like 50 quid and ended up with like all of them, and then it's just like it ballooned from there. I do love this freaking shelf. It's one of my favorites, and like I'm trying to recreate it with the whole like classic-y shelf. Wow, the classic modern Beast Warsy things. They look so cool. Again, I'd put them in the same position because why not? Like I say, we got that from the TF Nation recently. Yeah, I got him dirt cheap. What else we got? Like I say, we got 8 Link in there just because it's like where else am I going to put him? I got him cheap from TK Maxx. I actually got to have breakfast with the voice actor of this guy. Here's a picture. Great, I have to edit this video now. But yeah, I do love this figure. This whole shelf's really cool. Although, look how much Tigatron's yellowing. Bloody Hasbro plastics. Ooh, I'm trying to stand up. I'm getting old, guys. Yeah, we can see. I've got a weird story about him. I was hanging out with some guys, and we went to Smith's. Get the camera down. So we were at Smith's, and they were all buying things. And at the time, there was nothing I really wanted. But I thought, I don't want to be the only one that doesn't like buy anything. So I ended up with this IDW Blurred. I actually prefer him way more than this guy. I'm not a huge fan of this one. I don't like his face. I don't like your face, Blur. Who else we got? That's an interesting story. I say Star Saber. I'm low-key fixing up. He is missing a few bits. Eventually he'll get fixed up. You know what it's like in this place. I remember when I first bought Cosmos. I can't remember. I think it probably was TF Nation, and for some reason it wouldn't transform. I had no idea how to transform him. so I remember someone taking me aside and goes, "Here, let me show you how to do it," and they literally just showed me how to. It's so embarrassing. I've got all the mini bots now. I think there's only that weird like Bumblebee edits, like the blue one and stuff. I remember, where was it? Again, my collection's so big. Ah, yeah, there's Brawn, whatever it's called. He's got a broken arm, literally, and the guy says, "Oh, it's broken, you can have it," and just gave me Brawn. And I would normally just get a new one, but I'm like, nah, he's mine. I like him with a bit of character, you know, they've lived. The first Transformer I remember having was Inferno. This isn't my original Inferno, but this guy's missing his ears or whatever it is. But I remember having this and absolutely loving Inferno. So much so that I had to get the Masterpiece version of him. I just love this big cartoony dude. And that's the thing, like, what do you guys prefer? Do you prefer like the cleaner look of like the modern Studio series or the more greebly riddled? Now personally, I didn't really care until I ended up getting the Soundwave, and then I'm like, ooh, something with my camera. So I liked it with the Soundwave with the no greeblies on the side. So like there's, well, I've added them to my camera. 2 seconds. So yeah, anyway, I liked him originally, but like I ended up getting the what's it called, Thundercracker one without this. I'm like, yeah, it's difference between like toys and animation things, which is again why we want to replace that Bruticus, because he just does not fit in with like the rest of like that aesthetic. But we're getting there. We've got at least 3 of the guys. We'll get there eventually. Oh, this dude was one of my most expensive figures. I got him when I took my nephew to his first and only main TF Nation, and I knew I wanted this guy. I'd saved for months to save up for him. And so we go in, and my nephew, he's not a huge Transformers fan, and he's just, some vendor had like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and he's like, "I want to look at the Yu-Gi-Oh cards." I'm like, "We can look at Yu-Gi-Oh cards in a minute, but we're at a Transformers convention. I want to get my Transformer before it sells out. No one's here to buy Yu-Gi-Oh cards." So I ended up with this Geiger Power, and he's so good. He's so big and heavy as well. Oh, there's my 3D printed Ravage. I absolutely hated the, oh no, it's down here, I think. We can see it. The Earthrise Siege mold. I just absolutely hated it. So I ended up finding this guy 3D printed, and I'm like, yeah, but I'll take him. Although I do like the new one. He's got that little curve to him and all that. Look at my whole team of stuff. They're cool. We also got these, which I gloss these all the time. I love these stuff from Toy-Fu. But they're always, you have to always like race to get one. I remember when the Red Sea Spray came out. I'd seen him like a couple of days or weeks before it came out. You know, we went to the convention. I says, "I've got a name for him. I've come up with a black backstory. He's Blood Spray. Get it? Blood Spray. I say again, Blood Spray." Well, I thought it was funny. Anyway, I remember I really wanted it. I was, "Matt, you better save me the red one. I want the red one." And then I was like, "The red one's the coolest." I'm like, "I know. That's why I want the red one." And he didn't. I ended up with him. I'm missing the Cosmos one he does. I need to get him to make me one of those. Anyway, this is some of my collection stories for Transformers. If you've got any interesting ones, put them in the comments in the bottom. I'd love to hear your collector stories. I've been Aaron at the Nerdy Bazaar. If this video does well, I might do some for the mountains of Marvel Legends I have around there. My camera's zooming in and out of things. Weird. Anyway, see you on the next one. Bye.